I am not here to debate with anyone. I have devoted all of my adult life to this subject. I only debate with my equals. All others I teach.
All right. So yeah. Let me say who's in the chat room. Before I even started my live stream, Pure Butterfly said, "What's hello? What's going on with you?" I didn't even pick out the title up yet, or even the thumbnail when she made that statement. So yeah, this is all my social medias right here. Y'all want to donate, but let me go ahead and start this off because I saw somebody did a video on Tyler Perry and how Tyler Perry exploits a problem within black society. And as the title says, right, there's no solution in the problem. There's no solution in the Tyler Perry sector because the solution is not profitable. You can't profit off the cure for the disease. Now let me tell you my remedy of this issue between uh, men and women in society. You have to equalize the education system. Two, that's one. Now, hold on, I'm gonna say that's one. You have to reform the education system. Number two, you have to create, you have to reinvent or recreate what Franklin Roosevelt created back in the 30s and 40s with the Public Works Administration. I think that needs to be re uh, reinstated for the 21st century. So the only way you're gonna stop these young men from going down the red pill, um, going into the red pill, you got to incentivize them to feel that their lives are worth something. That's why they become MGTOW and they become MRA, they become incels, they become true force loneliness. Um, they become any of these wings and factions of the red pill ideology because I see that young men are being radicalized by what they see online. That's my solution to that. It's not that, oh, you got to remove lust and you got to remove this from your. No, this is deeper than removing lust. How you going to talk about removing lust when you got incels? Incels ain't having sex. They're not having being the company of a woman. If you want, if these men are being are are in the are having these problems, you have to create programs and institutions to make sure they are on a good footing in society. Marriage is not the answer to everything. Changing their mindsets, put them on the healthy mindsets is the mainstay. Now, since I said that, right, I'm gonna use a Tyler Perry argument, right? And if you see the thumbnail, you know who I'm talking about. When you profit out of the problem, see, Tyler Perry talks a good game in his movies, right? I used to have to sit down and force to watch the Tyler Perry plays. Before there was the Medelia movies, there was the Medelia plays. And every play is the same talking point drummed up every time. That hood logic, and it's always some woman who got with a abusive man or a man who is um recluse. No, not recluse. A man who's reckless, I should say. A man who is, you know, but there's no. It's always a current theme within each of those movies, like or each of those plays. Like the Diary of a Tired Black, no, a Diary of an Angry Black Woman was the first Medelia play, which introduced Medelia because she was the um going back to the play. I'm not talking about the movies. I'm talking about the play. If you watch the play, right, 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 and I'm glad though you saying that because he's stirring the pot. Okay, he's stirring the pot. That's why he's on that dumb nail. Okay, and back to the topic, right? Of the Medelia movies, the Medelia plays. Right now, I've been watching. I have a whole collection of the plays and the movies because I inherited the movies and plays, and I'm watching this. Right, I'm watching it. I was watching these Medelia movies when I was 19 years old on them cheap ass uh them bootleg DVDs. Right, I'm watching it. It's a current theme. A woman is in the middle of uh um a traumatic issue with the men in her life. You know, homeboy was like in the diary of a tired black woman. That's the first one. Homeboy was making all that money, yet he's abusive. But yet she goes around and got with somebody else who is of lighter skin. Then on top of that, you see another movie. Madelia goes to I forgot what's the other one? Meet the Browns, and you got the other one called, you know, it's so many of them now, right? I can't I forgot which one is the I forgot this no which movie or play is in order. What was the sequel and all that? I think one was Madelia goes to jail, and the other one was Madelia, um, Medelia's homecoming and all of that, right? And it's always the same um narrative. Now, yes, the woman found in each of those movies or plays, which one ever you watch, she's always there's always a light at the end of the tunnel for her. But there's not a lesson being made. All right, there's always a way out for her, but there's no lesson being learned about. Okay, what did she learn anything from this experience? And it gives off this Goldilocks, not Goldilocks, wrong story. It gives off this princess in the castle perspective. Uh, that it doesn't matter. I'm a woman. There's always going to be some man coming to help me. Woo woo woo. But it seems like there's no lesson in the finished product, and it always seems to be the um I'm trying to form it's not people are not taught a lesson about, okay, maybe you should have caught this early on. But see, but I'm not here to talk about the women though. All right, because um that will be counterproductive when talking about the women part of it, right? It's counterproductive. Um because it was, because I don't want to give the impression that it's I don't want to give off the impression of the misogyny and all that's being so forth. It's the men I have a problem with in these movies, and off of it's profiting off of trauma that these men will inflict onto women, right? It's the profit of, okay, it's telling women that there is not going to be no knight or shining armor. Um, the first man you meet is going to be problematic. Um, you're going to have to wade through the um, you know um, it's always the trauma being it's like trauma porn that these men will inflict, but yet they will never tell you about what she's doing to herself. How did she got up in the middle of that? And I ain't saying all of the women, because the woman in the first play, right? She just find and success what she deemed to be a successful man, and he turned out to be abusive, right? So the first woman in the first movie, in the first play, that's understandable. But when you saw the other movies and the other plays, and I forgot which one it was, because there's so many of them, right? There's more than 15 uh iterations of Medelia and the cinematic universe, or the play, the cinematic universe of Medelia, because you got to Meet the Browns, you got um Half and Half Nots, you got um if you ever watch Half and Half Nots, man, that a TV show. I mean, um, um, anyway, right? Man, Candace is fine as fuck in that on that TV show. You know, I didn't even finish it though. I didn't even finish Half and Half Nots. I might have to go Netflix or Hulu, wherever the case might be, and find that and play the last two seasons. But Candace is fine as fuck. I'm sorry. Yeah, man. But yeah, but the thing is though, it's always um trauma porn, and it's selling trauma porn to the masses, and saying, well, every man is the first man you see is bad, or watch out for these so-called red flags, when the red flags does not even uh pop up yet. It's trauma porn, and it's not producing the solutions to a problem, or better yet, it does not saying, okay, like in some movies that have a sequel to it, or that's a long running series. There's no character arc where there is a rise and fall, and then there's a reemergence of of that character. It's the same beat. It's the same beat, and it's selling it's selling a an image that's not entirely there. But I'm going off on the weeds on that criticism about the lack of a lack of an arc. Um, like I'm gonna use what I'm gonna use. I'm gonna use a movie reference, right? And it's gonna be unfair. It's gonna be unfair, but let me use. You know what movie reference I can use for this? Because it's kind of, I can pick so many, but and it's unfair because it's science fiction, or it's superhero, and it's not in the same context of Medelia. But let me use. I hate to do that because it sounds very juvenile, right? And I don't want to be juvenile with this. Let me use let me use Batman, right? I hate to do that. Right. That there is a dissecting and deconstructing arc of a certain character, because the character itself is trying to solve a problem. But the problem itself got bigger as he realized, he's self-aware. The character is self-aware that the problem that he was trying to solve got big. in the course of the series, he rises, falls, and rise up again. Right? It's the complete opposite of characters within Tyler Perry's movies, because what lessons had learned? None. What are the lessons that the characters involved in the plays and the movies? They learn nothing. And that's the problem I have with Tyler Perry, and that's why I call this sector, YouTube, the Tyler Perry sector. Nobody learned anything. Nobody ain't solved a thing yet. What have you solved? Nothing. And that's been my major problem with the Bracy family, with the Bracy cousins. Telling somebody to remove their lust, that's not a solution. What's going on between men, right? Um, why men are into the red pill community. It's a societal problem, not a you got to remove lust, because a lot of these men are not governed by lust. I don't know who tell them, and you know what? I know who to blame for this. I know who to blame. Who fed him this storyline is about uh is about lust and all that crap, right? The problem is, this is a social and a political um dynamic that put men in this predicament since 1945. I mean, I'm gonna use what Ty City said, right? Grandpa sold this country out, right? And since 1945 on up till 2025, 80 years, 80 years, we have these problems. For the last 80 years, Grandpa sold us out, sold America out, and his grandsons are being punished for his sins. Because it's like in the Bible, it's like in that Bible, the sins of the father will pass on to the son. Um, and a lot of us, the sons and grandsons of America. Now I know people say, "What you talking about white people?" Yes, I am, but I'm talking in the generational terms right now. Grandpa did a lot of bullshit. He did a lot of willing and dealing during the last 80 years, and now here we are suffering for what he done. Education went down, employment going up. Grandpa sold his country out. This is bigger than what them Negroes on that channel think this is about. It's bigger than that. And that's why you think you see me interviewing congressional candidates for, because I know what the problem is, and I know where all this coming from. You got a lot of men who grew up in the 80s, 90s, the early 2000s, who became millennials. All we knew is recession after recession after recession after recession. I had me being in my 40s. I witnessed recession ever since I was 20. When 9/11 hit, because I was 19 at the time, all that was recession. 2004 and 2006 recession, 2008 recession, 2012 recession, 2015 recession. All this is and then because a lot of men could not attain the basics. A lot of men could not attain the basics of home ownership and everything else. um they gravitate to whoever is yelling the loudest. And with the internet, we got demagogues. And those demagogues, your Andrew Tate, your Tommy Sotomayor's, you know, the demagogues telling you, well, it's not, well, it's women's fault. It's not grandpa. It's her fault because she let you down. She not receiving what you offer because you didn't have the dream house that you was trying to build when you was in your teens and 20s. It's her fault. She's taking the jobs that should have been going to you. See, the best idea to get rid of the manosphere is not make some stupid ass series of morning shows talking about trying to demigrate men. No, the best way to destroy MGTOW, destroy the MRAs, to destroy um the incel communities is create policy. Make sure you don't feed those entities. If a man, if a young man is in his teens and 20s or early 20s, if he has something that he um could do, and his outlook in life is positive, he wouldn't have to worry about these idiots online talking about my MGTOW brothers. He don't have to worry about you know less he have to hear my MGTOW brothers because he's busy doing something worthwhile. He had to worry about or black women or hair weave. He had to worry, he had to worry about all that. He had to worry about a woman's body count because the environment has been terraformed. His environment is terraformed. So he didn't have to worry about you know, what's at the ocean bottom. He had to worry about what's at the ocean bottom. All he is in the he's sailing at the top with sun rays in his face. He had to worry about the gutter trash. But that's also, but in having said that, right? Because I said the word, I made the phrase. No, I ain't made the phrase. That should go for Ty City, but I'm gonna use Ty City's point. Grandpa sold us out. See, too many of us are blinded of the after effects of Grandpa. Grandpa created this foolishness we have till today. Donald Trump is the last of Grandpa. Donald Trump is Grandpa. Donald Trump is the last of the grandpas, and he helped fuck this country up. He's fucking it up now. See, Donald Trump is also a demagogue, where young men think, let's put our hopes on him, and now he's president, and now here we are. Y'all gave y'all souls to demagogues. Now, the difference between an Andrew Tate or Tommy Sotomayor to a Donald Trump, the only difference is Donald Trump has a nuclear button, a nuclear uh, briefcase with his finger over a red button. And that's scary. Because some of you men are not taught about what happening to our education. We're not taught about what happened to the job market the last 20, 40 years. We're not talking about why your take home pay won't even sustain you in getting what you desired. Now there are some guys. If you go on YouTube right now and type in "I'm 44 and I'm done," type in "I am 44 and I'm done." Look at these men on there. Now I made a video. I made two videos on the "I'm 44 and I'm done." I made two videos on it because I was responding to the men that was making these videos, and yeah, I agree with everything that they said. Yeah, a lot of us are done. Even I said I'm done, or no, I said I'm about to be done because and some people really don't understand that point. I mean, the American dream for them is dead because a lot of us was caught up to the rat race when he was in our 20s and 30s. We got caught up in the rat race because we was gaslit, and then the rules has changed while we was up in it. But was up in this race, and now we up in our 40s now, being disappointed about the last 20 years. So I understand why these men made them videos called call that. You know, um, now I know I'm going off on a tangent, but this is where the manosphere, or I mean historically, I ain't gonna say about the manosphere. Historically, when this happens, I want you to understand revolutions and war starts when you start seeing grown men saying that they're done. War is going to start. Revolution is going to start. That's scary. Now I'm a historian. It doesn't take much for the French Revolution to pop off because back then men at the time were done. They was not getting what they was promised, so therefore the French Revolution was created. Was had popped off in the late 1700s, which gave rise to Napoleon and the Jacobins in France. Or like how the men of Tsarist Russia in the early part of the 20th century, or how the men of the Weimar Republic was so disenchanted that they went to a demagogue wearing a mustache and a swastika. And I see it's the same concept now. The manosphere is a gateway to MAGA. And we fooled ourselves to no, scratch that. Y'all they fooled themselves to that because there was no solutions on the other side. No, am I working tonight? No, I'm not. Hold on, let me read. Let me read the chat room because I'm trying to get all my my dots out there. You know. So hold on. So okay, I read some of y'all's comments. I don't know if I'm going to address all of them or not, but let me just go ahead and you know and and you know the flip side. The reason why they're so this see I don't know if y'all see on what's on Twitter or such. You know, everybody asked the question: how did Nick Fuentes got so popular? Why did Nick Fuentes this? And when I said Nick Fuentes, I'm talking about 10 years ago, right? Why did Nick Fuentes got so popular? See, Nick Fuentes did not got popular overnight. No, he didn't. Nick Fuentes, if you go on Twitter, I'm sorry, not on Twitter. If you go on Twitch, sorry, Twitch. If you go on Twitch, and if you're a gamer, that's where Nick Fuentes got his popularity from. When you playing video games and if you're playing Call of Duty and you're playing what's that other famous video game what's the other video game? It's not called it's similar to Call of Duty. I forgot what it is. That's where Nick Fuentes came from, right? If you on Twitch and you playing video games on these streaming services, and that's how he got his rise from, right? And then he bubbled up to the top where you really can't, you got to take him notice. Well, those young men are very disenchanted with society for whatever the reason it is. Gravitate to a demagogue because there was no solutions to address their problems on the other end. So that's why in the thumbnail of this video, why you think I put old boy's face on that thumbnail? Because he thinks because your boy over there who bomb Cherry likes to put on, prop him up, right? All of this is entertainment for a lot of you. Tyler Perry makes black women's trauma entertainment. It's really exploiting entertainment out of somebody's trauma. Now, on the other side of this, yes, on the manosphere side, they're doing it too. They traumatize, they're making profits off of young men's pain. Why I can't get a date. Or a woman will care more about her hair weave than care about what's in the house. She spent more money on this than care about the babies. I'm on child support. Profiting off of their real or imagined. Some of it you got to take a huge grain of salt because a lot of these men I do not believe. Some of them I do believe. Some of them do have a legitimate argument. Most of them do not. Right. So because I'm being fair. Um, there is no solutions in no, I'm sorry. There is no profit in the solution. You have to constantly keep going to the doctor. You have to constantly go to the pharmacist to pick up your prescription. And the manosphere is your prescription. That doctor in that hospital visit is the Sharon Bracy's in the blue pill pill factor. They also profiting off of black women's pains and suffering as well on the other end. I might be doing a live stream later tonight, Pierre. I might do a part two to this, Pierre. You know, so I might be open the panel. I don't know. Well, it's 3 o'clock right now, and I need to you know go touch some grass, so to speak. So I might do a live stream on this later today or tomorrow. Most likely today. Um, but I don't like how people try to make money off of trauma, and everybody want to know why I have a problem with that individual and his cousin is because if you really was about solutions, you wouldn't disappear when solutions are being taught. Oh yeah, that's not new. That is not new. See, Andrew Tate said the same thing that Nick Fuentes said. If you are a man and you're dating a woman, he's basically calling you a homosexual. See, the thing is, we live in the age of the grift, and the grift is actually destroying destroying a generation. The Zoomers, I'm gonna say this right now. The Zoomers are done. Okay, the more and more this keeps going on, the Zoomers are done. You know, the Zoomers are done. I'm gonna say that again because of the grifting by MAGA and the Manosphere. The Zoomers are done. They're just like us millennials. You know, see us millennials, right? We was gaslit about this American dream that does not exist, right? No, we were so gaslit about this American dream, and and you know, and some of us are saying we are done. Even I said I'm done. Even I said I'm done because I remember somebody contacted me the other day, and somebody I hadn't seen in a long while, and that person asked me, "Are you married and do you have family?" I said no because I told him, "Listen, I'm too old and I'm done. I'm done. That part of life, I ain't I'm too old for that." As a you know, first time trying to get married shit. You know, because what I want, I'm not going to get. So, um, so on that aspect, I'm done with that. You know, enough of that. So a lot of people um are saying that they're done. because again, some people was gaslit. The gaslit on this idea. And for me, I blame it on the black. For me, I blame it on on the premise of if you play by the rules, you'll get everything you want. That's a lie. Er, you know, Not everybody going to get who play by rules are going to win. And that's what some of our religious institutions being gaslit litting, and this is what some of our educational people been have been gaslighting people to believe, and that's where you know um you know and now here we are, we have this issue about the population declines and issues of immigrants and the need for immigrants, or we don't want immigrants, and you know and so forth, the running narrative, right? So so right, exactly. I remember when I was in my teens, and I was told this. Right, if you do this, you get that. I've been keep on being reminded of that, and then now 20 years later, you know 20 years later, you at this, you at a certain point where, okay, that was we did all this for nothing. The only thing it did is kept us busy doing a rat race because Grandpa told us to do that. Now, now I know Pierre gonna talk about her grandpa in World War II. We're not talking about that. When like we're talking about Grandpa, we're talking about people who authored policy, educational, financial policy for the past 80, 90 years, and the people who continued the policies, the wars we fought, and then we come home from Afghanistan and Iraq, and we're not there's no clear winner in those conflicts. Right. That's what I'm talking about. The proverbial moving carrot mover, moving carrot and nothing, moving it over your head, and yeah. It's kind of like I'm like, if you remember the commercial with the old man with the fishing hook, and he's saying, and he dangling this dollar bill. I forgot which ad that is. All right, and let's talk about the phrase grandpa, right? Because I'm gonna talk about it again, right? I'm talking about the phrase grandpa. Grandpa is 90 years, 90 years of racist policy. Yeah, it's also race has something to do with it too, though. All right, race has a lot to do with it. You don't sit there and create a policy of we're gonna give black people or give Hispanics or give Asian civil rights, but then turn around and devalue education at the same time. The only reason why, you know what though, this is so, and I'm gonna leave after this. I'm gonna leave after this because I'm a I want to do. I need to enjoy. I gotta go outside and start enjoying things for once because I've been working all week. But um, everybody wants to make the phrase, "Oh, she kicked me out the household" argument. I don't know how many times that argument has been debunked, but people don't read. But the thing is, why you think Richard Nixon in 1971 took money off the gold standard? Now it's to help France, Great Britain, and Italy and Japan. That's cool, right? But there was an undercurrent of that. There was not enough dollar bills to go around because the previous 8 years of the civil rights movement, where people was finally getting jobs. I mean, minorities, blacks, Hispanics, non-whites, and yes, and with feminism with feminism accomplishing with Title 9 and Title 10 and all that, women was getting jobs, so there was not enough dollar bills in circulation. See, and this is what BBJS don't want nobody to know, right? So the thing is, there was so many dollar bills. There was not that many dollar bills in circulation, so therefore he has to devalue how much a dollar worth. So therefore he print more dollar bills. And from 1972 on up to till today, the dollar bill has been decreasing. So a husband can't buy a house by himself and have a wife and kids in that roof where his sole income can take over can he can build a house for himself for his wife and children, or there's no investment where so forth. There's you know so so anyway, um I'm gonna stop right there. Um um I said enough, but I'm gonna leave it there, and I apologize for not dropping the link. Um, I'm still I'm still kind of pissed off about the last time I did a live stream over here. Because somebody tried to make it about them and not about the topic. Um, you know, I should never drop that link the last time. That was a mistake on my end. So yes, I know. Yeah. I'm not even denying that. I'm not even denying that. What I'm saying is the origins of why men and boys are gravitating to the manosphere. Um, when you have a bunch of men who are not educated, who don't know discernment, a lot of men who lack knowledge gravitate to the demagogues, and I'm just telling y'all where the source of why men and boys gravitate to the red pill community, and it has something to do with the economics and education um that we are currently in. And that's why I said patriarchy is a zero sum game for the lower class and the middle class. Oh yeah, but I get you, Big J. They tell these young men to get married and have kids that they can't support, provide for. Right, and that's where I'm saying about this American dream, this so-called American dream and its so-called generational wealth. You know. But anyway, I'll talk more about that up here. I might talk about that later tonight or tomorrow. So I apologize. I apologize for not dropping the link though, because I still have a sour taste in my mouth. The last time I dropped the link over here, that left me a sour taste in my mouth. I should never allow that bullshit to happen. All right. So anyway, I'd like to join the panel next time you're covering this topic on affordability. Yeah, I will. I will. I might do that. Well, today's Thursday. Would y'all be comfortable if I do that Friday? Would y'all be comfortable if I do that Friday? If you know, because I know some of y'all at work. You know, some of y'all be working and shit. So I don't want to do that on no school. Well, ain't no school night. What the hell I'm talking about? It's Christmas next week. So I mean, a work week. Right, 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 right. That's why I just, you know, um, I should never have that you know, over here. Have that situation played out on my channel. Yeah. All right then. All right then. I'll try to do a live stream tomorrow if that's all right with y'all. Um, you know, and I'll see y'all then. So but anyway, uh, and it's gonna be a part two. Okay, it's gonna be a part two. It's the same title, but I'm gonna put a part two to it. So so yeah. I'll see y'all later, y'all. Thank y'all for watching and so forth. And I'll see y'all next time. I'm out. Y'all have a good one.
I am not here to debate with anyone. I have devoted all of my adult life to this subject. I only debate with my equals. All others I teach.